Most people don't realize how easy it is to grow basil from cuttings, and once you learn this method, you don't need to ever buy a new plant. In this video, I will show you how to take cuttings, root them and grow them into a healthy plant. And you can do this from store-bought basil or even cuttings from a friend. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, I share practical gardening tips and special tips on how to garden in Central Texas, even in the high heat and unpredictable weather. So if you're interested in such content, do hit that subscribe button and follow along. This propagation technique by cuttings will work with any type of basil. Let me start off by showing you for store-bought basil. We need to start off with store-bought basil like this. We'll use the bottom portion to soak into the water by removing some of the leaves. Pick a stem that is long and remove the bottom leaves, and then we'll put this into water. What we'll see in a few days is that roots will start growing along these bottom parts which are into the water. So here's how I've removed the bottom leaves from a few stems and put everything into water to develop roots. If you're starting off with cuttings from a friend, then you will do something similar. You will remove some of the bottom leaves, keep at least 2 to 3 leaves on top and root it in water. This is progress from an earlier batch which I soaked about 2 weeks ago, and here you can see how each of these stems has a lots of root that is growing on the sides. Here's a more close-up view of all the roots that have formed in these stem cuttings. Now let's begin potting this transplant. So I've taken a small 4-inch pot with some potting soil and I have slightly wetted already. We'll make a small depression in the center to insert our plant and fill back the soil so it's looking all settled in its new pot. I'll be leaving this pot in a shady location for about a week for the plant to settle down in its new container, and then I'll move it into a sunny spot gradually, maybe increasing it by a couple of hours of sun every day, and then in another week put it into its main sunny location into my raised bed. Here is a basil plant that I have rooted and it has grown well over the last couple of weeks. You can see a good healthy root system. So here's the location that I'm going to be planting it at. Dig a hole just enough to bury this transplant. Add about a tablespoon of all-purpose organic plant food to help with the plant establish well nicely in this new location, and fill it back with soil and water. That's how easy it is to transplant basil, and it will take off pretty soon. Here is a basil plant that I transplanted roughly 2 weeks ago, and you can already see good lush growth. Now that your basil plant is established, the next step is to keep it healthy and bushy, which I'll cover in the next video. How to harvest it the right way to make sure you have more greens, as well as how to take care of fertilization and watering schedule. One tip for people who are gardening in Central Texas: since it gets very hot during the summers here, I like to plant some basil plants in a little bit of a shade behind another tall plant, or in an area in my garden where there is a little bit of afternoon shade. This really helps the basil thrive through the summer instead of getting beat up by all the heat. I hope you found this video helpful. If you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe for more such content. Thank you for watching.